To get started with this project, we can rip some 3/4 inch plywood down to use for our sides and backboard. The dimensions for this project will be 40 inches wide by 18.5 inches deep and utilize a 35.5 inch vanity leg. For the front of the cabinet, we decided to go with solid maple as the wood species using the 5/4 lumber from Osborne. Once the lumber is cut to size, we can bring it over to the benchtop planer in order to plane it down to its final thickness of 3/4 of an inch. To connect the face frame, we're going to be using wood dowels to help with alignment during assembly. First, we need to mark out the location for the dowels, then we can use a doweling jig and a drill bit to pre-drill the holes. Next, we can add some wood glue to each of the holes, install the wood dowels, and connect all of the rail and frame pieces together using some wood clamps. While the face frame is drying, we can go ahead and assemble the rest of the cabinet box. For our project, we decided to use some brad nails and wood glue for assembly on the box, but you can use pocket holes or miters if you prefer. Once the side and bottom pieces have been attached, we can add some wood glue to the back of the frame and install our backboard once again using some brad nails. Since the entire cabinet will be painted, we decided to install the face frame the same way using brad nails through the front. However, if you are standing your cabinet and don't want to fill nail holes on the front of your project, you can use alternative attachment methods like pocket holes for this assembly. The final step for the face frame was just to flush trim using a handheld router to match the cabinet box. Next, we're ready to attach our vanity legs to the cabinet box, and the easiest way to do this is to use a quarter notched leg for installation. If you're using your own vanity legs for your project, you can quarter notch using a table saw at home. However, if you're looking to save some time, you can order your vanity legs with a quarter notch service from Osborne. Now that our cabinet box is assembled, we can move on to the cabinet doors that we created using some 5/4 lumber from Osborne. We'll cut the panels to their final size, making sure to account for a slight reveal on the inside of the frame to avoid any interference. To correctly install the hinges for the inset cabinet doors, we needed to add a mounting cleat on the back side of the face frame that will allow us to mount the hinges for a flush fit door. To install the hardware onto the cabinet, we can mark out and pre-drill the locations onto our mounting cleat, and then carefully install the mounting plate using the supplied hardware. Once the hardware is installed, we can test fit the doors and adjust the fit using the adjustment screws on the cabinet hardware.